In Week 16 of the NFL season, the Philadelphia Eagles disrespectfully took down the Washington Commanders 29-18. So today, I'm here to give you the 3 reasons why the Commanders failed to beat the Eagles. So let's not waste any time and let's get into it. So reason number 1 why the Commanders lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that will be injury at the quarterback. Marcus Mariota going down with an injury, a story we've seen time and time again this season. Of course, we all know how the Commanders have been with Jayden Daniels, and now it seems like the quarterback curse is hitting us again with Marcus Mariota. And with Mariota, he was playing a pretty good game, a very Marcus Mariota-esque game. Not going to force the ball downfield very much, take what he can get, and move around to buy a little bit more time in the pocket, and every now and then find Terry for a good game. And we were able to move the ball because he was also able to hand it off to Chris Rodriguez, who was pretty productive as well. But once Mariota went out, we became pretty predictable. We knew that the running back was going to get the ball. There was no any type of flash to it because, as we saw, Josh Johnson does not belong on the NFL field. He's on his 10th team, and we're seeing that it's a reason. That interception he threw in the third quarter to Cooper DeJean across his body late makes 0 sense. And once that throw happened, we knew the game was all over. We knew the game was a long shot to begin with anyway, as we were going against the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl defending champions. But once Marcus Mariota went out, yeah, we knew the chances were about 0. Mariota also is a threat with his legs. And even though he didn't do that as well this game, that threat is enough to keep defenders back and keep teams away from blitzing as much so he can't get past them. And Mariota also did a great job taking care of the football. If you've watched my videos, then you know Mariota is always good for one dumb play. For one bonehead play where you scratch your head and ask yourself why. Now, I don't know if it just hadn't come yet, or maybe he learned his lesson and stopped doing it, but we were taking care of the ball against the Eagles when Mariota was in there. And as we know from our NFC Championship game against the Eagles, taking care of the ball was one of the most important aspects of beating the Eagles. Now, reason number 2 why the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Commanders. And it's honestly a reason we couldn't really do anything about. We just couldn't guard their receivers. We just couldn't do it. I mean, they have a beast in A.J. Brown, who had 9 catches for 95 yards. And if you know anything about A.J. Brown, he's a matchup nightmare. I mean, he's built like this giant receiver that can move like a freight train, has great hands, can make great routes. He doesn't always get the best separation, but he's able to make great catches in traffic. And when your top 2 outside receivers are Mikey Sainristil, who his primary position isn't even outside corner, which honestly, I think he's better outside than inside, but still, when you have Mikey Sainristil and you have Jonathan Jones being the primary defenders against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who I believe are the 2 best combo receivers in the entire league. When it comes to man coverage, we have no chance against them. We just don't have the dogs. And when it even comes to zone coverage, they have plenty of time to throw back there, because when you have a great offensive line and plenty of time to throw and 2 premier wide receivers going against a pretty beat up bad defensive backfield, you just don't have a chance. And you also have Quan Martin, who's lined up a lot against Dallas Goedert, and someone who I think is criminally underrated. Dallas Goedert took advantage of him, got a touchdown one-on-one against Quan Martin. We just didn't have the guys to do it. We just couldn't defend them. And there were other things in the game that we could have done better that we'll get to later that could have prevented a little bit of this onslaught. But when you're not hitting those other tiny key parameters, you're not going to win. Not going against this talented team. The final reason why the Eagles won in this disrespectful game, and yes, I am saying disrespectful because it was very, very disrespectful of Nick Sirianni to go for 2 late in the fourth quarter, and Dan Quinn let him hear it, honestly. The last reason is we were not able to get pressure on Jalen Hurts. And if you look at my past video, that was the number 1 key to our victory. You have to pressure Jalen Hurts. You have to make sure he's not comfortable, and you have to make sure he's throwing off rhythm. and he was on rhythm all game long. I believe we got 2 sacks on him, but 2 sacks in that 4-quarter game when they controlled the time of possession, that's just not enough. Especially when you're Jalen Hurts and you're able to go 7 carries for 40 yards and get numerous first downs on those carries. Jalen Hurts is great at maneuvering that pocket and able to shake by and even break arm tackles because he's so powerful. And we just weren't able to bring him down when we had the opportunity on the numerous occasions. And because he's able to escape and extend those long plays, that helps out receivers like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who might be facing a zone coverage and it's going to be give them longer time to find those holes. Or if they're facing man coverage, run away from those smaller receivers that are checking them and allowing them to make the plays and get those first downs and touchdowns and drive extenders like we were seeing all game long. So those are my top 3 reasons out of many why the Commanders lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in a disrespectful fashion of Nick Sirianni. So tell me, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And what do you think about our game coming up in Week 18 against the Eagles in our rematch? Well, just like the Commanders, I'll see you there.